Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. First and foremost, apologize for this poor lighting. Unfortunately, that's the only arrangement I have at my home here. So I'm sorry about it. So just bear with me. Basically, it's not about seeing me, it's about my audio. So let's start off. So, as far as today's cricket show is concerned, it was a real sensational day as far as international cricket was concerned today. So, first, I'll have to start off with David Miller of South Africa, who today broke the record for the fastest T20 century. And he hit the T20, he hit the century, got a century of just 35 balls. It was stunning stuff. And in one particular over, he went absolutely aerial against Mohammad Saifuddin, the new Bangladeshi bowler, and smacked him for 5 sixes. And what a knock from David Miller. Take a bow. Now he's the one who holds the world record for the quickest T20 century in numbers of balls. 35 balls. He scored a century, and I'm also going to look at what really he did. I'm going to tell you what was his score. David Miller smacked a century of just 35 balls and eventually finished with 101 of 36 deliveries, not out of 36 deliveries, 7 fours and 9 sixes. And in doing so, he smashed the record, or he went past the record of Richard Levy. Again, Richard Levy is also from South Africa, as you know. He did it against New Zealand in the year 2012. He did it of 45 balls. So this was a super effort from David Miller to score a century of in T20 cricket of just 35 deliveries and 46 deliveries. Du Plessis did it against the West Indies in 2015. So David Miller was a real hero today, and that helped South Africa amass 224 for 5. Well, there is absolutely nothing to say that these Bangladeshis were looking. They were not looking like a team at all in front of this target against South Africa, as South Africa finished off Bangladesh by a big margin, as you would know, which I'll be talking about. So that is what is going to really hold. And Mohammad Saifuddin was hit for 5 sixes, 5 consecutive sixes. There are only 2 persons in the history of international cricket who has done that. One is it was Evan in T20 cricket we are talking about. So definitely the old people are not in the mix at all. Evan Lewis of West Indies has done it, 5 or more sixes, and Yuvraj Singh of India did it against England against Stuart Broad, as you would remember. And Mohammad Saifuddin had the very I would say unfortunate distinction of actually getting the highest number of runs scored of a Bangladeshi bowler in international cricket, and that was 31 runs coming of the over from Mohammad Saifuddin. 31 runs were hit by David Miller. What a knock from David Miller. So Bangladesh actually returning back to their home shores with a very, very dismal showing against South Africa here, as the final nail in the coffin was put in by David Miller. And as far as the India versus New Zealand match was concerned, the India versus New Zealand match was a very close affair. It was a high scoring affair at Kanpur, where India made 337 for 6. They lost a few wickets in the end overs, so that made it 337. But there were 2 centurions. One was Rohit Sharma went on to make his 15th century of his career. Virat Kohli went on to make his 32nd century of his career, and also Virat Kohli, in doing so, became the fastest batsman in international cricket to 9,000 runs in Test cricket, and one does not know what are the records Virat Kohli is still going to break in the future. What a player Virat Kohli. And also Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma created another record in one-day international history, as now Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli have had 4 double-century partnerships in ODIs, and that is rivaled by no one. So they are the ones who hold the record. So there were a lot of records which were broken today. It was a record-breaking day, starting with David Miller, I would say. So, and New Zealand were given a target of 337. They made a real fist of it. They really went for that. Munro, Williamson, Taylor, Latham, Nichols, everybody contributed. But still, it was some very good death bowling by Jasprit Bumrah in the end, which clinched the match for India. And India won the ODI series 2-1 against New Zealand. 331 for 7 was what New Zealand made. So you can just imagine how close this match was. And as far as the Sri Lanka versus Pakistan was concerned, one good thing was that there was a lot of cheer for Pakistan. The reason being that Lahore was hosting this T20 match. It was not from Sharjah, it was hosted in Lahore in Pakistan. And as you would remember, Sri Lanka, it's almost a big gap since that shooting happened in Pakistan against the Sri Lankan players, as you would all remember. And but today it was a match which I'm sure the Pakistan crowd would have enjoyed it to its entirety, as Mohammad Amir got his career best analysis in T20 cricket, and that is he picked up 4 wickets for 20 runs, and this was his career best analysis in T20 cricket. Mohammad Amir bowled his heart out, 4 overs, no made in 13 runs and 4 wickets. As far as the match was concerned, it started off with Pakistan really initially struggling a bit, but then Shoaib Malik brought some real impetus to the innings. Fahim Ashraf, it was mostly about Shoaib Malik and Babar Azam, especially Shoaib Malik, who really added some real zing to the Pakistan innings by scoring a scorching 51 of 24 deliveries, 5 fours and 2 sixes. Pakistan going and sitting at 180 for 3, and the Sri Lankans finished at 144 for 9, with only Dasun Shanaka really showing some real determination in batting it out there with a hard at 54, and Chaturanga de Silva making 21. Other than that, again, I would say it was not a good performance of the Sri Lankans, and Pakistan did a clean sweep in the T20 series, but it's all about the match being played in Lahore. It was a full crowd. It was a capacity crowd at the Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore, and the match was over. So these are the 3 matchups which are there. So I just did a synopsis, and also there was one more match. Let me talk about this test match which happened. We are talking about the first day's play in the second test match between Zimbabwe and West Indies. Zimbabwe won the toss, elected to bat, and they were really struggling. They were put under the cosh by Akema Roche of West Indies, as Solomon Meyer, Erwan and Taylor were packed into the pavilion very cheaply. But then Hamilton Masakaja and Peter Moore combined. Hamilton Masakaja going on to get his century, and this was his first century since the year 2014. So Hamilton Masakaja was very happy. He and Peter Moore really steered the ship very well. 14 for 3 was Zimbabwe, but Hamilton Masakaja along with Peter Moore steered the Zimbabwean ship through troubled waters in a wonderful manner, as Zimbabwe closed at 169 for 4 on the first day of the second test match here at Queenstown in Bulawayo. Masakaja was not at 101 with 9 fours and 2 wickets, and Peter Moore making a very well made 50, where he really chiseled together a good 50 to give some support to Masakaja. So these are the things that happened. So now this was brief, it was a real brief right now, but now what I'm going to talk on the salient features, because I said there's no time to go into the nitty-gritties of any match. So but we'll start off with the David Miller record. What an innings that was from David Miller. Absolutely stunning. If you look at the card there between Bangladesh, so South Africa were the ones who batted first. Hashim Amla started off in pristine fashion, as he was getting that wrist roll beautifully, and he was caressing the ball with the utmost grace possible, and Hashim Amla was a real treat to the eyes, as he carved 85 runs of 51 balls, 11 fours and 1 sixes. Moseley and Dumini were dismissed for 5 and 4 respectively by the captain Shakib Al Hassan. De Villiers left after making 20 of 15, 1-4 and 1-6, and that was the time when that was the time 78 for 3 was when David Miller entered the scene and he was there with a very, very well settled Hashim Amla. David Miller definitely struggled at the crease. He was dropped 2 once, but then he got into high gear, especially from the 17th over. Once Hashim Amla was gone, David Miller was a transformed player. He was smacking it right, left and center. And Mohammad Saifuddin, he was at the first delivery that he placed. The slower ball was dispatched into the fence, over the fence, and then he shuffled down the leg side and put one over the square leg boundary for a 6. The other one went over the long leg for a 6. And then one was hit down the ground for a 6, and then was another swing down the leg for a 6, and Mohammad Saifuddin would have prayed to God that his 6th delivery is something that David Miller should not score off, but David Miller managed a single, and as I said, he leaked 31 runs in that particular over, and David Miller finishing, as I said, now holding the record for the fastest T20 century in T20 history, and that was 101. He scored a century of just 35 deliveries, and his score was 101, not out of 36 deliveries, 7 fours and 9 sixes, a spanking knock from David Miller. Behadi not out 6 of 5 balls, 224, and South Africa raised a huge total of 224 for 4 in their 20 overs. Shakib Al Hasan 4 overs 222, Taskin Ahmed 3 was none for 41. Marius and Miraz also went for plenty today. Didn't have a handle on the South Africans. 4 overs, no made none for 46. Rubelis in 4 overs was carted for 51. But Mohammad Saifuddin 3 overs for 22. And then utmost damage done by David Miller to Saifuddin's bowling figures. 4 overs, no made and 2 for 53. Ended up with Mahmudullah 1 over for 10 runs. As far as the Bangladeshis were concerned, the target was 225 runs from 20 overs. They never looked like getting there. Soumya Sarkar was the only one who did a bit of paid an innings of substance of 44 of 27 deliveries, 6 fours and 1 6. Mahmudullah made 24 of 20, 2 fours, and then Saifuddin himself making 23 of 26. But other than that, there was nothing to really talk about. They were bowled out for 141. They really looked like sitting ducks there, the Bangladeshis, and they lost by a very huge margin. And this was the last match of their tour of South Africa. I'm sure this was a good experience for them, but a very tough experience for them, as the South Africans actually rammed them and won the match by 83 runs. And one would have definitely expected that after the ramming that David Miller had given to the Bangladeshi bowlers. So as far as the bowling was concerned, Bjorn Hendricks 2.3 overs, no made and 1 for 28, 4 overs 2 for 23 for Dumini, Robbie Fowling 1 for 9, Pretorius 1 for 27, Fungisu 2 for 31, Philip Wire 1 for 21, and man of the match, not only the man of the match went to David Miller, but also David Miller took the man of the series. The Bangladeshi tour of South Africa ended up with a real whimper, I would say, as they leave for Bangladesh. But so that is as far as Bangladesh versus South Africa were concerned. Now the next match that I'm going to look at is the third ODI between New Zealand and India. As far as New Zealand and India were concerned, it was the Indians who actually batted first, and they lost Shikhar Dhawan pretty quickly for just 14 of 20 ball, 3 fours. But look at that partnership. What a partnership from Rohit Sharma. The ball at Kanpur, it was a nice toss to win. The ball was nicely. New Zealand actually won the toss. They elected to field first, and the ball was nicely rolling onto the bat. And why not? So strokes were at plenty coming, and Rohit Sharma was really getting those pull shots. His strokes down the ground. He's caressing the ball through the offside. Virat Kohli, on the other hand, was letting loose. As soon as he came, he stamped his class as he started playing strokes of big pedigree, as Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli took the Indian innings from 29 for 1 to 259 in the 42nd over. So you can just imagine it was a very spanking partnership. In fact, it was a 230 runs partnership that ensued with Rohit Sharma's contribution 147 of 138 doubles, 18 fours and 2 sixes, and also his 15th century of his career. Virat Kohli scoring his 32nd century of his career, 113 of 106 balls, 9 fours and 1 6. And Virat Kohli was simply superb, I would say. And then towards the end, the 10 overs of at the end of the 10 overs, and Virat Kohli also became the fastest to 9,000 runs in Test cricket, and breaking the record of A.B. de Villiers, I reckon. And as far as the Indian innings was concerned, New Zealand really hit back in the final bend, I would say, the final 10 overs, as they picked up wickets with Pandya out for 8, Dhoni for 25, 17, 3 boundaries, Jadhav for 18, and Karthik was not on 4. 337 for 6 was a big score, and definitely considering the nature, flat nature of the pitch, one would have definitely expected New Zealand to really give a run for the money, and they definitely did. 10 overs, none for 266 for Saudi. Bolt was taken to the cleaners. 10 overs, hiked away for 81 runs. Adam Min, 10 overs, 264. Grandom, 8 overs, cost him 57. Santel, 10 overs, 258. Munro, 2 overs, none for 10. As far as the New Zealand were concerned, they were given a chase. They were given to chase this particular target, and they definitely did a great job. Guptill was out for 10. Munro smashed 75, 62 deliveries, 8 fours and 3 sixes. Williamson making 64 of 84 deliveries, 8 fours. Taylor 39 of 47. They all chipped in. Latham 65, 52, 7 fours. Nichols made 37. But the problem was Granholm could not carry on, not out on 8. Santner was 9, but Jasprit Bumrah towards the end, when it was not a lot of runs. They still required probably in excess of 10 runs in that particular over. I thought Jasprit Bumrah did a good job, bowling some very good dead deliveries. 331 for 7 was New Zealand ended it, and also New Zealand lost the series as India won the series 2-1. Bhuvneshwar Kumar was very, very costly today. He got a real pounding at the hands of Colin Munro today. Sixes were hit with absolute disdain. 10 was no 1 for 92 for Kumar. Bumrah 10 was 3 for 47 on a very flat pitch. Pandya fouls for 47. Akshar Patel 7 overs, none for 40. Jadhav 8 overs, no maiden, none for 54. Chahal 10 overs, no maiden, 2 for 47. As far as the player of the match was concerned, the player of the match going to Rohit Sharma, and the player of the series being taken by Virat Kohli. So that is as far as that particular match is concerned. As far as the third T20 was concerned, as I said, it was played in Lahore between Sri Lanka and Pakistan, and Pakistan doing a clean sweep of the series against Sri Lanka, as Mohammad Amir really making the Lahore crowd, I'm sure, very, very happy as he picked up his best T20 haul in a T20 haul of 4 wickets for 14. Pakistan were the ones who actually batted first, and it was a bit slow going for them, but it was, as I said, Shoaib Malik was the one who really added some zing to the innings with a very scorching knock of 51 of 24 balls, 5 fours and 2 sixes. And what stood out from Shoaib Malik was a beautiful shot that he actually played through the cover region. I think it was through the offside that he hit a wonderful 6. That was really a magnificent shot from Shoaib Malik. It really shows the class of the player, I would say. Fakhar Zaman 31 of 27, 3 fours. Umar Amin made 45, 37 deliveries, 3 fours, 1 6. Babar Azam were quite not out, 34, 31 balls, 2 fours. Fahim Ashraf got an opportunity. Vikram Sanjaya was hit for 2 glorious 6s by Fahim Ashraf in the final overs. Vikram Sanjaya not getting the block hole right and landing it on a length, and Fahim Ashraf dispatching it to the spectators there. Vikram Sanjaya 4 overs, 1 for 41, 180 for 3 was what Pakistan ended up with. Munawira 1 for 26, Idris Udana 3 overs, 1 for 32, Danishko Gunatilaka bowled 2 overs, none for 16, Pereira none for 28, Patirana 1 for 8, Shanaka bowled 1 for 13. Sri Lanka, given a target of 181, definitely struggled. None of them could really get to grips. Gunatilaka 9, Munawira 1, Samara Vikrama 4, Mohammad Amir proved too tough for them. Fahim Ashraf 11, Udavate made 11. Dasun Shanaka was the highest scorer with 54 of 36 balls, 5 fours and 3 sixes. He went hammer and tongs, but it was not really enough. He had absolutely no support, barring Chaturangadi Silva, who actually made 21 of 20 balls. Other than that, It was not easy going. 144 for 9 was the final tally, and that was never enough. As said, Mohammad Ahmed picking up his best T20 analysis. 4 overs made in 4 for 13. And the man of the match going to Shoaib Malik. Also, it was a 3-0 clean sweep by Pakistan of Sri Lanka in the T20 series. Shoaib Malik at Lahore in Lahore in Pakistan, taking the man of the match and the man of the series, like what David Miller did against Bangladesh. And the last but not the least, Zimbabwe. As I said, they were really put under the cosh by Kemar Rowe, Solomon Meyer, Brendan Taylor and Craig Irvine were dismissed very, very cheaply by the combination of Roche taking 2 wickets and Gabriel 1, but Hamilton Masakadza keeping there, really starting off in a very quiet fashion, but slowly settling in and beautifully guiding the Zimbabwe innings along. He got an able alley in Peter Moore, who really decided to stick to the crease, and both really performed a good from 14 for 3. It was a wonderful partnership, which added 142 runs, with Peter Moore's contribution 52 with 3 boundaries. Masakadza towards close of play, not on 101, and Zimbabwe definitely on a rain hit day where rain definitely interrupted play and brought an early end to the match. 169 for 4 was what Zimbabwe ended with. Second Raza was their company, 9 of 14, 1-4 by Masakadza. What a knock, 101. With 9 4s and 2 6s still there at the crease. Not really going to go into the bowling figures because of short of time, but still I will do that. 1 for 37 Gabriel, 2 for 24 Kemar Roche, and 1 for 26 for Rostin Chais. Well, dear fans and subscribers, as I said, there were a lot of matches today. There were absolutely 4 matches that I had to really talk about. I know the light has not been good, but it's not about my face that people see. It's all about my audio. So I'm sure you would have enjoyed this broadcast of mine, and sorry for it. Probably the light arrangements, I don't have much good light arrangements here at home, so I definitely have to put up with what I have here. And as you know, I do this cricket show purely for passion. Thanks for your company and thanks for watching Cricket Happenings. It was a pleasure bringing you this cricket show of mine, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Until then, it's goodbye.